Hello my dear Libras, this is your love and spirituality reading for the mid-month of August 2018 with me, Queen of Cups Tarot. I read for the signs in order of most liked videos, so don't forget to hit the thumbs up button for your sign. And you can see the order I read in this time around at the community section of my channel. And thank you all for liking, watching, commenting and subscribing to my channel. I'm so grateful for all of your appreciation. The reading can go both ways. The message is for the people who watch it. So if you cross-watch for another sign and recognize yourself as the main person in the reading, just trust your own intuition and you will get the message you need. For this reading, I used the Osho Zen Tarot by Deva Padma. I have been using it since 1995 and many of you have asked how I have learned to read tarot in the way I do, and this deck has been my main source of inspiration. I will make a shorter 5-card spread to make it more digestible for you, and now I will start shuffling your cards. I only will put this up a little bit like this, and then we start. So, when I open your deck here, I see the burden and the creator. The burden, 6 of Swords, it's a situation where you are letting your mind ruling over your heart usually. The 6 of Swords in other decks is more depicting this moment when we let go of this. We do no longer let our mind rule our heart, and the expression of what's true is coming out from you. But here it hasn't really happened just yet. It wants to show what is the problem. And the problem is that you have like masters riding on your back. And those masters are usually your thoughts. This is the Swords suit. So it's about thoughts, air. Thinking. Okay, we have this gentleman here that is very burdened by his own thinking, and it might be, for example, that you're trying to be very rational, very reasonable. You're trying to not have a heart, and instead you have this burden riding you. For example, if you love a person but it's not particularly convenient, maybe they are from a different culture, different language, a different country even, or maybe it's just not appropriate. You don't have the same political ideas or something. So you're trying to override yourself to not love this person. So what's true here is not coming forward. The true you is not coming forward. Instead, your reason comes forward. It can be the same when it comes to work, creativity of different sorts, family situations. Maybe you're doing something that your parents want instead of something you yourself want. We'll have the creator here. The creator is usually Leo, can be Aries or Sagittarius in your life as well. And of course this person can be the burden to you, telling you what to do. But usually the creator, and it comes in the upright position, it's about your soul, okay? It's about who you really are, the person that's here. If you could throw off your thoughts and the reason, we need to be logical and have reason, of course. For example, if we are loving someone that's not good towards us, or we have some authority figure abusing us in some way, of course we need to be reasonable. We can't only be nice and calm and diplomatic, and the creator doesn't suggest that. It suggests being the full you, with both the love and the anger, the boundaries, as well as the unconditional love aspects. Okay, so it's becoming your soul instead of being a human being following human conditioning and human social rules and codes. Here you are following your soul's rules and codes instead. Okay, the sun comes out, and I want to fix this. Okay, so I will pause for a little bit. You see the shadow that was there? It's a really big wasp, like really big. They are very friendly and nice. I actually love them. Sometimes they are starting to build nests here in my room, but when they do, it usually comes more than one, and then I have to ban them. So I will help this little poor creature out, and then I will go back to your reading. So that's much better, I think. And where were I? Okay. So I call the divine with love and light. And here we have we are the world in the reversed together with the creator. And I don't know if you noticed, but it came in some seeds also from my roof window. It's very much actions here today. I will pick up one of these seeds like so. You see, it's very small seed. You can't hardly see it, and it's raining more of them now. But this little seed is to be like a big tree. It's björk in Swedish. I have forgotten the English name. It's a white tree with green leaves, and it becomes like 30 meters tall and live for about 70 years from that very little seed. Okay, so it needs to start somewhere. That's what all the seeds are saying. Okay, and here we have the world and the creator in the reversed. So the world is talking about a place of value. It can be like a family situation, a house, a marriage, long-lasting friendship or love relationship, your work, your creativity. We have the creator here also in the reversed. So it might be that some of you have had a fallout with a fire person. Maybe they are not longer a part of your family. It can also be that you have problems with authority at work. This is usually an authority figure. Or it might be that you have problems with your own creativity and maybe bringing in the seeds, like figuring out what it is that you want to create from all these seeds here. So it's like you have riches available, but since you're using your logic mind over your soul, it's becoming a little bit like on standing on the head, these situations, instead of being like really creative, which they could be easily if you just followed your soul instead of your rational mind. Okay. So I called for archangels, and now we have thunder as well. This is an interesting reading. I'm so happy I didn't do a live one. Here we have the lovers in the reverse together with we are the world still in the reversed. So it's definitely some kind of long-lasting, valuable, maybe a love relationship or something else that you love that has been disrupted. And it's probably for you to for you or someone else. This can be talking about someone you are dealing with as well, that needs to admit to what's in their heart and what's in their soul instead of following this conditioning that we saw in the first reading. This is usually like cards that comes for married people, and here the marriage is in this case having a little bit of problems. This is like things that's usually like long-lasting values for the long haul, things that's going on for a long period of time, and it might be that it has ended due to the Six of Swords. The Six of Swords might also be someone has really spoken their truth. Maybe a fire person, or maybe you in your fire spoke the truth, and maybe you sacrificed the situation like this. Okay, so I called the 6 elements: earth, wind, fire, water, spirit, and ether to join us here today and to give us a clear view reading for my dear Libra viewers. So I want my dear Libras to have love in their lives, and I want you to have creative success and to be able to walk on your highest path towards your highest destiny. Oh, great. So it's done. So my dear Libras, I will just tune in here for a few seconds. Libras, second half of August 2018. So this here is your reading, and this is the bottom card, and we have the 8 of coins in reversed. So 8 of coins means as the lovers in reverse means that there's a lopsided situation in a relationship. The 8 of Pentacles means that there's no cooperation. It's like maybe only one person is working very hard, giving up their will to the divine, giving up their will to co-create something, and someone isn't. So it's like someone isn't doing a good work. It might also be that someone is preoccupied with work and not putting effort into love. It can be this as well. Because we need, it's like before you are enlightened, shop wood, carry water. After you are enlightened, shop wood and carry water. So we always needs to do this like chores that we do, not only for ourselves but also for the people around us, adding to the wealth that we are all sharing. If everyone was lazy and sitting on their behind doing nothing, nothing would be created out of value. And it's the same for both love relationships and your career and your family. That needs to be put in effort into this. Maybe sending a letter to someone, or inviting them to a party, or it can also be doing the dishes, cooking a meal. It can be showing interest, making an effort in some kind of way that shares the love, and also make the thing that we have in common more valuable. So someone might have not done this with you, or you haven't done this with them, putting in the effort. And here is the reading, and here we have also slowing down, and it's the Knight of Coins in the reverse. So that's really putting things to a halt. It's like everything is stopping. It's not ending, but it's stopping. It's no momentum. This is you, my beautiful Libras, and this is your past, and this is your future. This is the past of the person, circumstance, situation that you have been dealing with, or how the divine has tried to affect you in your life. And this is the future of that said thing. The first card here, you, is schizophrenia. I'm not particularly surprised. The ones of you that have followed my Libra readings for a longer period of time knows that I have been a little bit trying to deal with this, that Libra seems so stuck for some reason. And this card is about being stuck. And it's usually with this, like the first card we saw, the Six of Swords, the burden. We are trying to be so good. We are trying to do what's right, what's expected of us. But our soul wants something else. And so we are kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place. And what the card is suggesting is that you need to let go, because you can't take yourself out of this pickle. So you need to let go and fall. And what does fall mean? It might mean, it usually means doing the thing that you are most afraid of, and that you are kind of pushed to the edge of something, and you're supposed to do something brave, or something that you haven't tried before, or something that isn't coming easy for you. And do it, like, even if you don't have the guts, even if you don't think that it will like make a positive change, just do it, because it's like you need to widen your horizon and get more experience, because here you're refusing some kind of experience. You want to stay with what's known, like maybe with staying with tradition, when really you need to break tradition and adapt to another culture. Or it might be admitting to loving someone, or really your parents wants you to be a lawyer, but you want to be a rock guitarist. Okay, so you need to follow your soul. You are planted here as the seed you were supposed to be. You are not planted here to go against your inside and to not follow the blueprint in your soul. You are here to follow the person you are, even if it doesn't become the most ultimate beautiful situation, because we are not here to have like an easy ride either. We are here to really experience life to its fullest, and do mistakes, fall, stumble, rise again, feel pain, and know that, okay, so now I went this far and this was painful, so the next time I will stop like just before the pain, or I know now where my boundary are. So with the Two of Swords, it might be that you have a little bit too many boundaries. You're not speaking about things. It's like holding things for yourself for diplomatic reasons, or for reasons maybe you don't want to be exposed. You might have a secret. Someone else might have a secret for you, keeping you in the dark about something, making it very hard for you to make a decision about this situation. It might be this as well. And with the diplomacy, we listen to the other person's feelings and we don't cross their boundary, but maybe we need to. If someone is rude towards you, but every time you try to talk about this, they walk through the door. So you see, okay, that's their boundary. So you start to listen to it, and it's like you are starting to condition yourself into not telling people, or this person in particular, when they are abusing you, because then you are faced with, if you heard that, that's my horses being a little bit upset with each other in the pasture. So horses are feelings. So when you detect that someone has a boundary, you usually you take that into consideration, but someone might have, they might have like grip on you, so they are not letting you acting naturally on your feelings. Only their feelings are taken into consideration. It might be a card of being overly polite. Okay, you feel their feelings, you take their feelings into consideration, but they never listen to yours. Then you have like overdone it, taking too much consideration. So you need to check where this is going with you. Where are you covering up, hiding, not telling the truth, not expressing your truth, not putting your boundaries, because this card is about, you don't want conflicts. Okay, so that's typical Libra, and this is the Libra card. You don't want conflict, so you're trying to stay in equilibrium, and actually you're staying in a very uncomfortable position that is not going to be healthy over time. So that was that. It might be that you are in a situation where you need to make a very difficult choice, and no of these choices is particularly nice. So you have this choice or that choice, and it's like choosing between pest or cholera. And neither are nice. So it might be this kind of situation too. But then you really need to listen to your inside. Take the first choice. Take it in front of you like a vision, for example. Imagine that you would do this first choice and feel how your body feels in the meantime. Then take the next choice and envision that this was the choice that you would make, and feel how your body would feel in the meantime. And compare the feelings, and go after the one where the feels most comfortable, because your subconscious mind have already calculated what's best for you, and it will give you the feedback in shape and form of feelings. And if you're following like the thing that you think is best, but it's not giving you a nice feeling, you will be stuck here for much longer. Okay. So this is your past, and we have the consciousness in the reversed. So it's showing kind of that you are lying to yourself about something. It's something you don't want to admit to yourself. You do see it with the consciousness card. It's very clear. You do know what's the problem. You know what the problem is. You just don't address it. So you try to avoid some uncomfortable truth here, something that you know, maybe about yourself, about your feelings, about another person. It might be you being married, for example, and the love has gone, and you know it, but you don't want to know it, and you just want to stay in the situation that once were, and just hope that the feelings will come back. It might be this kind of situation. It's so many different people I'm reading for here, like 10,000 Libras, and everyone has slightly the different story, but it's the same energy in the situation. So someone might have lied to you as well, or you have lied to yourself or someone else. And this is the future, and it's no change. The Page of Swords is kind of the one that holds the consciousness. She has the superpower of thinking, of seeing things very clearly. She just knows. So a person can come to you and lie about something, and you know that they are lying, but you don't want to know that they are lying. Maybe you want to keep the lie alive. If someone comes and say, well, no, you don't be sad, I do love you, and you want to believe in them, but it's clearly that you know that this is a lie, and not maybe that they love you, but whatever it is that you know, because you have the knowing, it's obvious, it's just that you don't want to have it, or you don't want to share it. So it's something you know that you don't want to share or really, you know, adapt yourself to. And so you're in resistance towards something that's true. And the truth shall set you free. First it will piss you off, as someone told me, but then it will set you free. So the Page of Wands, Page of Swords in reverse is it can be that you are angry, but you are keeping it hidden, or you want to talk with someone or express yourself, because both these cards about messages and this in the between here is silent treatment. So it's like you're holding off something, and it's not in your best interest. It's actually keeping you stuck, keeping you in a situation where there's no progress. So admit to whatever it is that you don't want to admit to, even if it's making you angry or very, very sad sometimes. And even if it's like you might see the truth here, that this is the truth, but this might just be one truth. And if you admit to it fully, for example, that I believe my husband doesn't love me anymore. So you admit to it fully. And then when there's no resistance anymore, there comes flow into this situation, and other things might happen that will reveal a deeper truth. Maybe your husband didn't love when you showed a mask and didn't or acted like passively aggressive, or like a martyr, or not really expressing yourself, acting like your will didn't matter. Maybe that was what he didn't love. And when you start to admit that your will matter, the love comes back. So there's always deeper layers of truth. I'm not saying that this is the exact scene. I'm just trying to give you pictures in your mind so you will understand what kind of situation in your life I might be talking about. Okay, so this is the past of the person, circumstance, or the divine. And we have nothingness here. So nothingness do talk about culture, human laws, divine laws, human rules and regulations, divine rules and regulations. Nothingness is talking about, it's God, of course. I'm going to lower the light a little bit. Okay, so nothingness is God. Consciousness, it's your awakened consciousness. It's when you're awake. Nothingness is when you sleep without dreams. So where are you then? Here you are awake. You awaken from this darkness. You have your mind. That's the only thing we know in the whole world that it's true. It's that you have a consciousness, that you are aware about the surrounding that we know nothing about. We can't know if it's all an illusion, if it's all a dream. The only thing we can know is that you're awake and aware of it, and sometimes you're not. And I'm thinking in those moments we are returning to God. So that's the main thing of this card. And oh no, now I tried to sharpen the image, and of course the light changed. Okay, so it's very existential, this what you are doing. It's about getting more and more awareness, noticing when you're awake and when you're asleep. when you're here, when you're not here. Noticing when you're saying the truth and when you're lying, and also noticing why you are telling the truth and why you are lying. So noticing your underlying reasons for doing things in a certain way. And the more conscious you can become, the more awake, the more aware, the more you will also see what has fallen out of harmony, what has fallen out of place, and you will be able to naturally fix this. So, for example, if after this you start to become more aware, more conscious, and you're noticing that every time you talk with your mother, you get a really like bad feeling inside your body. So you just feel this feeling. You don't know what it's coming from. You just notice this bad feeling. Eventually, you will notice that maybe your mother, it doesn't have to be your mother, it can be anyone and any kind of situation, is picking on you, like the small things. Have you done this already? You remember I told you you shouldn't leave those things at the table because this has for these reasons. And you notice that she is kind of diminishing you, making you feel very small, like you were not able to accomplish anything at all by your own means. And eventually you will start to tell her, hopefully very diplomatically, with the Page of Swords in the reverse. There's not going to be any diplomacy, I'm afraid, but this is how it is when we are beginners at something. When you see this clearly, you might get really upset, like with the Page of Swords in reversed, and you might tell her the truth, the blunt truth, without any diplomatic consideration. So you might be oscillating between being passive aggressive and martyr tolerant, and like really spewing out what has been hidden. But where we want to come to is to be able to say, okay, we come to the understanding that our mother doesn't really want to hurt us. It's just that she's worrying, and she has been putting a lot of her mind and soul into you, and she wants what's best for you. She just doesn't realize that what's best for you is for you to make your own mistakes and learn, and to become an adult, and to be able to do things for yourself and get self-esteem. So you need to tell this like diplomatically. Okay, yes, thank you for enlightening me about this, but you see, I'm a grown-up person now. I've been for 20 years or so, and I really need to learn from my own mistakes. I appreciate your love so much, and I appreciate how much you have been there for me, helping me avoid a lot of disasters. But I am fully grown now. I will be able to figure this out on my own. You are still needed, okay? I still need you for a lot of things. For example, for giving me love, or to making my dinner on Sundays, or whatever it is. So you can do this, become very adult about this, and very diplomatic, and still say everything that's true. I'm thinking that there's some kind of clash, because the 5 is usually it's the 5 of Pentacles, feeling left out in the cold or worthless or taken for granted. 5 of Swords, feeling humiliated, not good as, or wanting to steal the other person's energy. 5 of Cups, being so disappointed on something that you believed so hard in. And 5 of Wands, competition, arguments, conflicts. So this is what comes when cultures clash together. Now you just have to be aware of these differences in culture. It can't always be consensus. You can't always be all right with each other. You need to be conscious about what's have fallen out of harmony and fix it by communicating. First with yourself, like your emotional feedback system, and then with the surrounding. And that's going to fix the conflict between these two cultures. And the cultures might be you and your mother, you and your partner, you and the people at work, you and the people on the street. It can be so many different things. We can have different cultures, different morals, values, beliefs of how we communicate, like in the same family. So we don't have to go to another country to get to see another culture. So it's very hard to understand each other, because we take for granted that people see things in the way we see them, but they don't. So here you need to first be aware how you see and feel things. And even that has been like a little bit of mystery for you, since you're hiding things for yourself because you want to be adaptable and nice, easygoing, things like this. You don't want to cause trouble. Probably you are very scared of conflicts. And with the Page of Swords, it's very likely that you are on like now and then creating conflict, the thing that you dread the most, and then you get very scared and sad about this, what the conflict that has been made. And if you would have talked all the time and with yourself, communicating with yourself, your feelings, and with the surrounding, it wouldn't have to come to this point where you're exploding and saying things that you don't mean. Okay, so moving on. This is the future of this. And we have morality, so that's Libra, is the Queen of Swords. This is the worst aspect of the Queen of Swords. This deck really wants to point out very clear and direct what's wrong with the humanity. And this is, for example, the morality book. Okay, we had this, the 10 Commandments came down on clay tablets by God, and it was good rules, of course. But the implement wasn't good. Like in that time, it might have been the highest moral standard that there were, but today it has evolved. So, for example, we don't stone people because they fancy their neighbor's husband, and we don't stone people that has been raped, or that has. We don't take off a hand of a person that have accidentally taken off a hand for a person that they work with, so on, so on, so on. It's not eye for an eye anymore, because we have evolved past that. God has evolved past that. And that is so amazing, because we are like the front runners. Everyone that's alive today, we are the front runners. We are alive and conscious, and then we will go back to God, like to nothingness, and there we will collect the wisdom to the next breath out, when we go out again and come back, and out again and come back, and big bang, and then this falling down or deteriorating into nothingness. And that's when kind of we are all in one point. We are all the same, and then we are expanding into something. And here with the morality here, it's like we are seeing that this is rules of the old. Rules of the old that you are not, they are outdated, okay? In the text about this card, they are saying that she is an dried up old prune. I think I will read this card for you, since there has come so much with the Libra cards here, and that's the Libra essence. I'm not saying that you're a dried up old prune. I'm just saying that this is the things that you were to deal with in this lifetime. So it's a rather good text here. We'll explain this much better. Morality has restricted all the juice and energy of life to the narrow confines of her mind. It can't flow there, so she really has become a dried up old prune. Her whole manner is very proper and stiff and severe, because you don't want to cause conflicts. And she's always ready to see every situation as black and white, like the jewel she wears around her neck. The Queen of Clouds lurks in the minds of all of us who have been brought up with rigid ideas of good and bad, sinful and virtuous, acceptable and unacceptable, moral and immoral. It is important to remember that all these judgments of the mind are just products of our conditioning, and whether our judgments are applied to ourselves or to others, they keep us from experiencing the beauty of godliness that lies within. So harsh judgments of ourselves. No, I can't say that. My mother would be so sad. I can endure this 10 more years. Only when we break through the cage of conditioning and reach the truth of our own hearts, like the Six of Swords card wants you to do, can we begin to see life as it really is. Unless awareness, so this is awareness, consciousness, awareness, arises in you, all your morality is bogus. All your culture is simply a thin layer that can be destroyed by anybody. But once your morality has come out of your own awareness, not out of certain discipline, It is a totally different matter. Then you will respond in every situation out of your awareness, of your consciousness. And whatever you do will be good, because it comes from directly from your source, God here, okay? The latest update, no longer the stone tablets, but the latest update. Awareness cannot do anything that is bad. The ultimate beauty of awareness is that anything that comes out of it is simply beautiful. It is simply right, and without any effort and with any practice. So rather than cutting the leaves and the branches, cut the root. And to cut the root, there is a single method, the method of being alert, aware, conscious. And I already told you all about that, how you train yourself to be conscious. You don't punish yourself for becoming unconscious, but every time you become conscious, feel your body, feel, okay, how does my body feel today? And maybe stay with the most uncomfortable feeling, roll out the red carpet to it, invite it in and say, okay, I see you're hurting, I will take care of you today. And you stay with this feeling and nurture it. And then you will fall unconscious and you will start thinking about something else, like randomly. And then you will wake up and you go back to your practice. Oh, I'm sorry. I got lost there in a train of thoughts a little while. Now I'm back to you, my very disappointed feeling inside of here. And I'm going to stay with you, hold your hand. And you do this and you're healing yourself. And that's the first. And then you start doing this wherever you are, feeling your inside. When you're talking with people, interacting with situations, and you will feel what you like and what you don't like, what you react to in a good way and in a bad way. So you will learn to get to know yourself, become more and more aware. Eventually, naturally, you will start to tell this also to the world. I don't like this. I like this. I want more of this. I see this. I don't want to see more of this. So you're going to get to know yourself, and by that others is going to get to know you too. Right now they don't know you. They know the face that you're showing, and it's not the true you. And when you show the true you, you will be loved for who you are instead of who you are not. Okay, so I will take a Sacred Rebel Oracle card for you. I think it's this one. Yes, visions of life beyond death. And I was talking about this nothingness, when whole universe is going back to a singular point. There's a movie in my View This playlist called Sacred Geometry. It's a cartoon, and they are talking very quickly, but it's very interesting. It's just about this with the awareness. It's giving you beautiful new visions about things. So Sacred Geometry, I think it's the name. You can search for it on YouTube as well, or Google. So visions of life beyond death. Okay, for some reason I took the wrong card, number 5 instead of 44, and it's follow your own rhythm. And I can't ignore that fact. And it's actually the card in the bottom of this deck. Amazing. So I will read both for you. Deep within you are moved by an ancient, powerful force that cannot be tamed. Ancient, powerful force that cannot be tamed. It is the rising pulse of your connection to the life force. We have talked about this, your connection to the life force. If you're connected to the inside of you, you will be connected to God. You feel it in your bones, in your blood, in your heart, in your belly. When there is something dying within, you sense it falling away, no longer needed. You sense when it is time to rest and be patiently in transition. You feel the stirring of agitation and restlessness when new life calls you to create, to act, to step forward and to take a risk. You know that you'll march to your own beat, and no one else can tell you what your inner rhythms are, and that you must trust in your own timing. You cannot be rushed or forced, nor can you be held back when it is time to burst forth. Life celebrates and supports the natural rise and fall of your inner rhythms. This oracle brings you the special message that you cannot miss what you are destined for, nor will you gain anything by trying to push yourself. Trust in the life cycle within, and you will feel the perfect balance between effort and surrender, discipline and letting go. When it's time for the rhythm of rest, you will feel a natural slowing within and be drawn into contemplation and environments that are more gentle, spacious, nourishing, and perhaps more peaceful. When the rhythm of play beats in your heart, you will reach out to others to connect, dance, converse, sing, make music, make love, and share your wildness. You will be drawn to uplifting groups and places where you can experience a positive energetic exchange. Your needs will be met in harmony with your own rhythms. All that you will miss out on by trusting this is anxiety. What you will gain is inner peace. So I'll put it there. And now I'll take the 44 card that I was aiming for. So sometimes when you lose consciousness, something else steps in at your place. So it's not always a bad thing. Okay. Visions of life beyond death. Sacred visions is awakening within you. You are becoming blessed with the ability to truly see what is real rather than what appears to be. This is true insight. What was once considered consequential may soon be found to hold little consequence after all. What was once dismissed as an irritation or irrelevance may be seen to have great spiritual significance. As mundane as something once appeared, it could now be worthy of absolute attention. The gift of genuine vision takes you into the being of the universal creator. Again, you heard this again. It's come at least 3 times now. This is sacred terrain, beyond logic, convention, and that which is limited in any way. The more open you are to receiving true vision, the more love you will feel and recognize within and around you. Something may appear to change form, to be shed, to be lost, or to die, but there is love within it always. This realization doesn't remove the pain of the loss. It does provide a way through which it can be healed and eventually transformed into peace. The vision of love, the truth of all that is, can move us more than anything else possibly can. If you have been wondering about your life path or whether you should take action on a project or you need inspiration to really move you out of a slump you have fallen into, then this oracle brings you a message of hope. You will receive your vision. You will be graced with a way out of the stagnancy. You'll be able to see things differently and more accurately. Any confusion or uncertainty you have felt is going to pass and you will be left with clear insight. The stories you have been feeding yourself or telling yourself may end up looking different to how they appear now. This may surprise you, but the vision that is coming to you will be more truthful and therefore freeing. It will be worth the shock, surprise, or the moment of embarrassment when you realize you have been operating under a false assurance or deluding yourself about the truth of a situation. Those moments will pass and they are not something to feel bad about. They signify that you are leaving behind a smaller view for a more expansive one. They are a sign that you have outgrown your old vision in order to live in a bigger one. This is good. There might be a moment when your ego feels a bit dented, but sure enough, that too will pass. This oracle comes with additional guidance for you. You are watched over by life and held in protection. Whatever has been bothering you will not be able to harm you. You will prevail. If you are concerned that someone is getting away with something or blocking your path, and it seems there is nothing you can do about it, don't worry. The all-seeing eye of life perceives everything without exceptions. It is the universal mother with eyes not only in the back of her head, but in every living cell of life itself. She misses nothing, and the truth of her vision will always be met with justice, mercy, and wisdom. This oracle is also asking you to shift your perspective and look at an issue of concern a little differently. If you don't know how to do this, simply add to the following statement to the end of the healing process. I call upon the universal I to show me the most helpful way to see this situation of concern now. And the healing process is, I now release any fear I have associated with seeing truth, with seeing behind the veil of illusion, or with my inner vision opening up from my heart, mind, and body. I released any wounding I have received in relation to what I have witnessed at any time, especially where it is based in the fearful responses of others. I ask that my vision be restored to its fullness, though through compassion and unconditional love, so be it. If you want to have these healing processes, I urge you to buy this Sacred Rebels Oracle cards. This is the book. It's a beautiful, all Elena Fairchild's decks are wonderful, and this one is very good in the time we are at right now when we need to heal ourselves. It's a lot with beautiful healing messages, and they all are, but this Sacred Rebel is very sacred for right now. Okay, so my dear Libras, I hope this will help. You're going through something that is good. It feels bad, but it's good. So have patience with yourself. Start listening to yourself as much as possible. Feel now. How does it feel now, right now inside of you? And now, how does it feel right now? And now, how does it feel right now? Continue with this practice, and your whole life will become a meditation, and you will go through this. It's a transformation from a caterpillar to a butterfly, and you will make it with flying colors. You just need to listen to yourself. So, okay, I welcome you back to my September reading that I will perform in the mid-month of August. Thank you so much for watching this far, and have a real good summer. Okay, bye-bye.